go introduce yourself too.
Introduce myself?
Yes.
Well, my name is RJ Casey. I'm part of the TYT Army. So there.
Okay.
I'm
The TYT, that's the Young Turks.
I don't think you heard of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a progressive economic pledge right now,
Yes.
and our mission is to give this pledge to as many people and as many candidates as we want. Will you and your team consider looking at the pledge and give us an answer to whether or not we sign the pledge by next week? We've already talked about the issues, higher wages, remedial, and corruption. But what's your stance on Medicare for all and college for all?
Yeah, great question. So I'm gonna go the Stacey Abrams route on this question. I'm not gonna sign pledges, and the number one reason why I'm not gonna sign pledges is that it basically gives away all of your negotiating power before you can get up there. And I've learned this as mayor. You know, mayor in Clarkston, we're a council manager form of government, so the mayor is the president of the council, basically. So I'm a legislator, and I learned really early on that when you're working with colleagues, particularly ones that you really don't like, I hate to say it, but they're your colleagues. They were elected, and so you got to have professional respect. And there's a lot of negotiating goes on, and my number one instinct and desire to be a senator is to get things done. So signing pledges ain't gonna happen. Now, in these 5 pillars, there's a lot that I agree with and a lot of things I've been working on. So higher wages, a $15 minimum wage. So I support the House bill that was passed a few months ago. It would gradually increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour over the next 4 to 5 years. When we did a $15 minimum wage for our city employees 3 years ago, I mean, people like some people thought that the world was going to change. And what I saw was the economists looking at the cost of transportation, housing, food, utility bills, just to live in Atlanta, which is becoming even more increasingly hard and expensive to live. $15 was that minimum living wage, minimum, okay? And so for me, it makes sense, if I want my city to be competitive and I want to get the best workers, let's pay them what they're worth, let's pay them a little bit more than what other cities are paying. And I'm actually proud that Atlanta, DeKalb, a host of other cities in that area have now since then followed, and now that they're graduating their minimum wage $15 an hour. So yes on $15. Medicare for all. So I'm getting heat from my Bernie supporters, not gay, but because I think the issue of healthcare is really complicated, and not to get too wonky about it, but when I was in college, I took a lot of sociology and medical sociology classes, something I was really interested in, and I studied the healthcare systems of other countries for decades. And right now, the systems that I'm most interested in emulating are the German, the Swedish, the French, and Australian models, okay? And there's good aspects of Canada as well. But if you look at all those systems, the number one sort of preeminent principle is that there's universal healthcare coverage. Everyone is covered. Now, what percentage of that is government funded? What percent of that is privately funded? What percent of that is there's a government plan or a government regulated plan, and then there's additional private insurance? There's all these different layers. One aspect of the Swedish system that I think is really fascinating. One, it's 97% just taxpayer funded, but it's funded at 3 different levels of taxes. So basically, a local city like Athens, under the Swedish system, would actually have a little bit more control over how much they want to put into the local healthcare system, and even create some additional regulations. The German model has a network of doctors and hospitals that actually negotiate prices. It's kind of like an AMA, but it's a little bit more egalitarian. So 75% of the German healthcare system is supported by the government system, but there's private health insurance. So Medicare for all, right now, if there was a Medicare for all who wanted public option before me, I'd vote for it immediately. If a Medicare for all bill came before the Senate, I think think we'll have to see where the votes are. But I think the number one preeminent principle needs to be universal coverage. No one should have to go bankrupt, lose their job, worry about actually, can I afford this deductible? Are my health insurance premiums too much? Do I just get the catastrophic coverage? We want to make sure that healthcare is a right, and that it's something that is shared broadly across all society. Green New Deal. Everyone know about the Green New Deal? Okay, so y'all know I work with Sierra Club. I ran a public service commission campaign in 2012, and we talked about solar energy. That was back when George Power was saying it's too cloudy in Georgia for solar. Well, fast forward, 3 integrated resource plans, and we're up to almost 4 gigawatts of solar being invested in Georgia because the sun is our natural resource. So when it comes to environmental legislation, climate change legislation, being a Georgian, I'm going to prioritize investment in solar energy. All right, that's our natural resource. If I was like 50 years ago in Texas and the oil boom was happening, I'd probably be, didn't know about climate change. I'd probably be more about oil as well. And so investment in solar energy is preeminent. We have to expand the solar tax credit. We have to expand more rural solar development and more community solar development. There's a lot of apartment complexes, a lot of renters who will never be able to afford or even have the ability to put solar on their roofs. But if the solar farm is installed somewhere else and their power bill is connected to that system and to that investment, then they'll reap the benefits of those savings because solar is cheaper, and they'll be contributing their dollars to reversing global warming. So community solar and large-scale solar. And then I'll say I think the preeminent thing that I love about the Green New Deal, and it guides my thinking on environmental action, is an equitable and just transition to a clean energy society. So it doesn't mean that if you were in a coal community or worked in a coal plant, that now that coal was retiring, that you're SOL. Sorry, thanks for your years of service. We're going to move this investment somewhere else. We have to prioritize the communities that are impacted by pollution. So these are frontline communities, people who live near coal ash ponds, people who live in coal plant communities, like in Rome, Georgia, where plant Hammonds in Floyd County is shutting down, and all of those jobs are going away, and those tax revenues that the school system and the county commission were getting are being slashed. All right, investment in solar energy, investment in energy efficiency are really important. And then a little piece within that is the high energy burden zip codes. So I don't know if Tim probably knows this, but Atlanta and Athens have some of the highest energy burden zip codes in the entire state, which means that a higher proportion of their monthly income is paying their light bill and their utility bill. All right, and what's happening is people live in older housing stock. The building codes weren't as good back then, and so they spend a lot of money right now cooling their homes. And they're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And so a percentage of their income is it's like, upwards of 10 to 15% in some cases. And so investing in energy efficiency and those high energy burden zip codes not only is the right thing to do, it helps tackle poverty, but it's also reducing energy. Because how we're going to get to 100% clean energy is we're going to use 50% less. Okay, we're not going to just install solar everywhere. We actually have to use less and generate more clean energy. We're going to meet in the middle and squeeze out carbon and fossil fuels. Okay, so college for all. There's so many plans right now you just look at all the presidential candidates. But the bottom line is college shouldn't be like life-altering debt. Okay. In particular, going back to the just transition, if there are communities, if we get to a point in the Senate where we can only get some college paid for, I think we should prioritize people who are transitioning, so transitioning economies, workers, and then in relation to like environmental investment, the technical colleges, the community colleges that would actually train the workers to do sort of that bulk of work that will be done, as we transition to a clean energy economy. And then any of the corruption, not for that, just for corruption. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got to create a public finance, election system. We have to create transparency. And there's so many bills right now that just, like, the Senate is a graveyard, all right? The House has passed 250 bills, including universal background checks. But Mitch McConnell is just saying, no, we're not going to take it up. We're not going to do it. And in the same breath, you hear Republican leaders on the news saying, Democrats need to get back to work. All they care about is impeachment. And it's like, there's a lot of Democrats doing a lot of stuff in the House right now. They're passing bills. Apparently there's an impeachment inquiry underway in the Ethics Committee. Like, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of, firepower out there, but it's all ending right in the Senate. And the road to taking back the Senate comes through Georgia. And if we want to see any progress on any of the things that we're talking about or that the House has passed, we absolutely have to flip Georgia. Like, there's just no other way. The math just doesn't work. So,
Could I use that as a segue to my question?
yes.
We know Georgia